Hello, and welcome to Portugal Farm Life.
It's Ken, it's Gina, and it's Olivia, and we are at the most amazing swimming hole in Castelo Novo.
Yay!
So if you don't already know, Castelo Novo has this amazing river beach. It kind of stretches all the way down in that direction, and you get all of these incredible waterfalls. The water at this time of year is really not that cold. If you go other times of year, it can be freezing. And it's deep enough to have a little swim. And it's also got nice little spots where you can sit on the rocks and get your hair wet, which is something that Livy's trying desperately not to do.
Well, it's too late. It's just going to get wet.
And you know that the water is nice and clean here because there's a whole bunch of little fish that are sharing the water with us. I don't know if you can see them just in front. And one of my favorite things to do when I'm at this spot is sit underneath one of these waterfalls and have the water massage you. My favorite. Oh. How's it going, guys?
That's good. Yeah, finally cooling down.
Finally.
I was having like a boiling brain, boiling body. Wonderful.
Castelo Novo River Beach is an amazing place to come in the summertime. It's the 1st of July today, which is the start of the bathing season, which means that it's about to get like really busy. If you go all the way to the front of it there's like a place where you can eat food and you can buy drinks and stuff like that. They've also got a really nice big swimming area. And then if you come back to where we are here, this is kind of like a little rock pool, and it's usually not that busy. But this time of year, it can get pretty busy pretty quickly. So Livy, how are you enjoying your time in Portugal?
Loving it. Although I've been kind of stuck indoors for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because it's been blazing hot.
Yeah, we had this heat wave. It got up to like 40 degrees. I think it was like 40 or 41 or something.
Yeah.
And it just didn't go away. And then today's been like the coolest day so far. It's like only 34.
Feels so good though.
Yeah.
It's so good to have been in the water.
Yeah, so today I wanted to take her somewhere really special. We went up to Castelo Novo, and I've got something else to show her. We're about to hop on the bikes now that we've cooled down, and we're going to go and check out something else.
What?
Well, you'll go and see.
Oh, okay.
Cool. And it's actually perfect timing because this place is starting to get really busy. So I have a very good problem, and that is that I keep getting sent e-bikes. And I love it because at the end of the day, this is one of the best ways to get around and explore nature like this. This new one is from a company called Vanpowers, and you can check out their website on vanpowers.com. This is one of their brand new models that got released on the 8th of June. It's called the Vanpowers Urbanglide Ultra. So we got some steep mountain roads. We got the river just in the little valley just down here. And I'm going to take Livy to a really cool place. I'm sure she's going to love it. So we're in central Portugal between Castelo Branco and Fundão. And have a look on Google Maps for Castelo Novo, which basically means Newcastle for our English viewers. It's very pretty up here. And there's a castle just on the top, as the name suggests. Now there's actually a restaurant up here. I wanted to go to this restaurant for lunch, but all of our timings kind of got messed up. But you should check it out. We have actually eaten there before, and it's pretty good. Restaurante o Lagarto. And the village of Castelo Novo is so pretty. How's that bougainvillea just up there? And all these beautiful stone buildings. Oh, these roads are so sweet. Look at this. This also looks like a really fun way to get around. These guys have got quad bikes. Those things are mega noisy, and these e-bikes are nice and quiet. You can feel the breeze and you can hear everything around you. I think I prefer e-biking. So if you come up here in a car, the streets can get quite narrow, but they're so pretty. I mean, look at this. And I think this time of year, like the 1st of July, a lot of these are going to be like Airbnb places. So have a look on Airbnb, and I'm sure you can rent one of these cute little cottages. This one up here on the left is for sale. Look at that. So some lucky person can own that one. And as we go a little bit higher up, we're going to start to see some really old parts of this little village. Now, I wouldn't even bother trying to come up here on a regular bike because these are some seriously steep streets. But on an e-bike, you're hardly out of breath. How's it going, Livs?
Oh, it's great. It's actually amazingly easy over these cobbles.
Oh, you got front and rear suspension on that bike. On this bike, I've got front suspension. I don't have rear suspension, but I do have a seat post that has suspension in it. And it's actually surprisingly smooth. So this bike is a 250 watt motor. It's by Bafang. It's a very good motor. It's very, very quiet. Very smooth. It's got a mid-drive motor, and that basically means that the motor is on the pedals. It's not built into the rear hub like the bikes that Gina and Olivia are on. And that means that you get instant power as soon as you press the pedals. Whereas their bikes, there's like a lag of about a second before the power kicks in. These are some spectacular houses. Jeez, look at that. And look at the mountains in the background. I hope the camera is not too shaky because we are going over some seriously old cobbles. And just up there behind that church is our final destination. Final destination sounds quite ominous, like that movie. Hopefully it's not going to be like that. So every time I come past this section, I always see this house. I know this is an Airbnb. I know absolutely nothing about it, but it's in a prime location right next to the castle, which you can't actually see from here. But believe me, it is just up here. One of the super handy things about having one of these little cages on the back is that you can stick a whole bunch of these like pannier bags on. And so this bike's also got that. So you can have a pannier bag on this side, a pannier bag on this side, one up on the top. And believe you me, it makes a huge difference when you're doing trips like what we just did today. Now, I wish I could give you some more information about this chapel or church over here, but I can't. Apart from, it's very, very cool. It's got a lot of crosses. We've got like one there, one there, one there. So a lot of those. And from here, look at these views, man. They just stretch all the way out. Now we're going to be climbing up here, and hopefully we'll get some better views. Well, I say hopefully, but I already know that the views up there are ridiculous. So, Olivia, I can't wait for you to see this.
I'm bringing my camera just in case.
Just in case you see ridiculous views.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is it. Castelo Novo. So they've got this walkway because the castle itself, as you can see in the background, is a little bit sort of dilapidated. Just a little bit. It needs a little bit of restoration. Slap of paint or something like that. But yeah, so they built this really nice walkway. It's not wheelchair friendly though. And that over there is the clock tower. Now I've come up here a couple of times. I think the last time we did it was with Gina's dad. I'm not sure when that was. It was about a year ago, probably like season 3 or something like that. So if you want to check it out, I think we came out like in the evening. And yeah, it was really, really nice. And look at these old walls. So this is a Templar castle. Imagine carrying all of these stones and having to build these walls and then having to build these towers. I mean, look at this tower. It's absolutely perfect brickwork, stonework. And in the background here, you can see that they've built it on this beautiful granite. So they've built the house on a rock. And up here, we can see parts of the tower that have collapsed. And I'm not sure if it's collapsed because of warfare or something. Maybe, you know, something happened to it like that. Maybe catapults or, you know what I mean? Like, because those rocks have definitely come falling down, but I really don't know. So maybe someone can tell me in the comments why this tower has kind of fallen down.
There's such a vibe in here. It's like, actually, I feel like I'm inside a castle, and it's just, I don't know. I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, where you live in America, I don't think they have stuff like this because the country's not quite old enough to have these old sort of Templar castles and stuff like that. Well, the western part of the country isn't old enough. Obviously, the country has a lot of history predating that.
But it's amazing to just think how this used to be buzzing like hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
And it would have been like such an overwhelming presence over the whole village.
And all of these little houses down here, and they would have had like little donkey carts and markets and all sorts of stuff.
It's a beautiful fortress.
So it's not quite an accessible place if you've got like mobility problems and stuff because of all of these steps and because of all of these rocks. But if you don't mind climbing a few stairs, the view up there is definitely worth it.
This is so cool. Wow. Wow, the view.
Yeah. Wow. So this is like a little turret section where the archers could fire arrows.
It feels really high, hey?
It is very high.
Like, I'm getting a little bit dizzy from it.
So definitely worth coming up here and having a look. And you can really get to see the Gardunha mountains without having to actually physically climb up in them. And earlier on, I was talking about this Airbnb property. I mean, we have no affiliation with them or anything like that. But I always said whenever I come here, and they've got like a pool back there, a beautiful garden. That looks incredible. Imagine, right next to the castle. Oh, I totally forgot about that. What? The donkeys. We've got to go and see the donkeys now. But before we get there, Livy, come and check out this from this side. This is a really good view.
Okay.
And this is kind of like the last viewing platform area. There's like a nice little twin seat and then crazy views.
Amazing.
And here we're looking at the whole of Castelo Branco. Probably not the whole of it, because it probably stretches much further that way, much further that way. But you can see why they build a castle up here, because you can see for miles. And then the highest point that you can walk up is just over here. It's all in metal, so on a day like this, it can get quite hot. But here we go, this is it. This is like the full 360 view. And this is mind-blowing. Wow. Wow, the mountain looks incredible today. Huh. Olivia, I'm going to get some up the nostril shots. Up the nostrils. No, we can't go without saying hello to my donkey friend. I've got a little donkey friend up here, and we have to go and say hello.
For a second, I thought you meant someone in our family.
No. No. We were all born like that. So I'm just about to hop on this bike, and I've just noticed it's got this metallic sheen. It's got like a metallic paint, and it's really beautiful, man. I mean, this is one of the most expensive bikes I've ever been sent. It's 2,599 euros. It's definitely on the top end, but it's jam-packed with some awesome features, man. We've got hydraulic brakes. We've got this mid-drive motor that I was talking about, and yeah, it's an absolute joy to ride. All right, Livy, I'm going to show you one of my little friends. I'm so glad that he's still here. I haven't seen him in probably about 2 years.
Really?
So let's go and check him out.
I hope he remembers you.
He will. This is just effortless to cruise around. I mean, all of the bikes that we have, like these ones in front, are like moped style. So they've got like a throttle, and you drive them like a moped. This one, you've got to use the pedals, and it's effortless. I mean, it's got 5 different power assist levels, and basically if you're going up hills, you know, stick it in 5. Otherwise, if you're just cycling around normally, stick it in 1, you get extra battery life. These cameras never quite pick up how steep things are, but cycling up here on a regular bike would have just been insane, and this is super easy. Oh, there he is. There's our donkeys. Hello, donkeys. I'm so glad to see that he's got some friends now.
Oh, so cute. Oh, so
But I'm not sure which one was the original. I think the original might be this one. And he's very sweet, and he definitely doesn't bite. Hello.
You're so sweet.
What a good boy. And he's got friends. I'm so glad to see that.
Is that him?
I think so, because the last time that we were here, it was just him on his own. And here we go, up the nose shots. Here we go. Look at those nostrils. You're so cute. So I think these are called Miranda donkeys, and they're like a Portuguese breed. If I'm not mistaken, they might be Spanish. I'm sure people are going to tell us in the comments. But they're an endangered species of donkey, and there's actually a government drive where if you get a Miranda donkey, you actually get some kind of support from the government to keep the donkey. They pay you a little bit of money every year so that you can try and keep the population going. And I'm pretty sure that these are the Miranda donkeys because they've got these patterns on the face. So they've got like the white nose, the white eyes, and look at those long ears. That is so cute. And I imagine back in the old days, there were lots of donkeys up here pulling carts and things like that, and helping people get stuff all the way up these hills, up to the castle and up all of these steep roads all the way down to the bottom. Gina, do you want one?
No.
She says no.
I don't believe you.
Well, the thing is that we do want some, but the more animals you get on your farm, the more complications you have, and the fewer holidays you can take, because it's quite difficult to find people to babysit your house if you've got like cats, dogs, donkeys, geese, chickens, and then, you know, you start adding other animals.
So sweet.
Geese. Oh, that's a very soft velvety nose. I love the coloration on this one. I love how long the ears are. I don't think horses have got ears that long. All right, so it's getting mega hot up here.
No.
And I think it's time for us to go down.
Yes.
And it's going to be quite steep.
And squeaky.
Well, it's going to be squeaky for her. Gina's got a brand new bike. It's actually a different bike. It's going to be in a video probably in the next couple of weeks. It's this one over here. The brake pads are brand new, so they're a little bit squeaky.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's going to be whistling her way down the hill. But for me, going downhill is not going to be a problem. I've got these really big discs and disc brakes by Tektro. And they've got mineral oil inside. So they're like motorcycle brakes in a way. Obviously a little bit lighter duty because the bike's not as heavy. But they feel really good. And they give the bike really good stopping power. We've got them front and rear. So Castelo Novo is actually a really cool place to come. I mean, I think if you come here and you want to stay like in an Airbnb, I wouldn't book like a week or something like that. But if you stay for like a long weekend, you can get down the hill, you can get to that river beach. And obviously there's lots of stuff that you can see up here. It's so nice to get around here on this e-bike. If you walk around here, it actually takes your breath away because of all these steep hills and stuff. And on one of these, you just have to apply like light pressure onto the pedals and you can move quite fast. You can go up the hills, down the hills, obviously riding with one hand on the brakes and not another hand on the other handlebar when I'm filming is a little bit challenging. And this area is like the village square, I think. And I just noticed that on this side over here, they have something that I actually heard about on Facebook. This is a scheme where they basically have these Renault Twizzys, which are like these little electric cars. And you can basically rent them from here. It's like a little electric car. It fits 2 people, and then you can cruise around. So imagine if you were staying up here, you could probably rent one of these electric cars. You can cruise around all these little villages, cruise down to the river beach, cruise all around the place, all on sustainable, well, I was going to say sustainable fuel, all on electric. Or you could just have an e-bike and do the same thing, I guess. Yeah, I must actually give them a shout and see if we can hire one of those cars. I think that'll make for a great day out and an interesting video, and we can go exploring in like a little electric car. I'd love to do that. It is boiling hot. Every time that we stop, we have to make sure that we're in the shade because we're starting to cook.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get down this mountain. Let's get some speed up.
Okay.
Once we're on the flat, and then we can basically have a fan blowing on us the whole way home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually really impressed with these brakes. I'm only able to ride with one hand on the brakes, and they've got enough stopping power just with the rear brakes alone to help me down these steep hills. Oh, look at these views of the river beach. Wow, that is so nice. It's actually not that busy at the moment, but I think in the next couple of weeks, this whole place is just going to get absolutely packed. Livy's usually on an e-scooter, so being on a bike for her is kind of different, but she looks like she's taken to it pretty easily. So Gina's just seen these. There's like these 4 pods. I reckon that these things are like some kind of like holiday lets. They almost look like containers with like wood on the outside. They've got some kind of solar glass on them. So I'm not sure, maybe you can find out on the internet. I mean, they are so close. Just down that way is the river beach. So that would be a really nice holiday accommodation. So Livy, what do you prefer? E-scooter, or are you preferring this little moped style bike?
I think I like this more because I have the option to pedal.
True.
I've been doing a lot, but when it gets really, really hot and I get exhausted, I just want to use the clutch.
The throttle, yeah.
The throttle.
Yeah.
Totally wrong.
Yeah. Nice. That's actually saying a lot coming from Livs, because she swears by e-scooters. I just find them really difficult to ride. Like you've got to balance, and you've got to like have your knees slightly bent as well when you go over bumps, and it takes a lot more work to ride one of those scooters, e-scooters. It's the ones where you have to stand upright, you know. Bikes are just far easier. So Livy managed to do something a little bit silly.
Really stupid. I got onto the bike, I didn't have it switched off, and I pushed on the throttle to like, you know, get on the bike, and it lurched forward, and I grabbed onto it, tripped over it, and now I've got like this really weird...
She's given herself like a big bump on her leg.
It looks so weird. I've never seen such a big thing before.
Yeah, shame.
Yeah.
So I think we need to race home now, and we need to get some ice on that.
Yeah.
For sure. So Eddie wants to know what's going on. Eddie, you're not helping with your slobber in her face.
No, I don't want any slobber.
She doesn't need your slobber right now.
The slobber is healing.
Oh my gosh.
It's got healing slobber powers. Look, Mima's going to lick it better. Yeah, it's going down a lot.
I was like, oh man, 2 legs.
Yeah.
I've got like a dog bite on this one.
Oh
And
no.
then I thought I was going to have like a permanent bulge on this one.
Oh no. So yeah, we had to kind of cut the cycling short there and just kind of like make a mission to get home. I was a bit worried that her leg was going to balloon up, but it didn't. It looked really crazy when it first happened, and now it seems to have gone down. And you can see our cat Nanook is very, very concerned. This is what she looks like when she's incredibly concerned about your welfare. So Gina's medical diagnosis is that Livy will survive. She's not going to die.
Not tonight.
Not tonight, yeah.
Not on our watch.
Not on our watch, exactly.
Back in America, but not here.
Yeah. All right, so we're back on the farm. How glorious is it to be back here? And it's a lot cooler indoors than it is outdoors. It definitely feels a lot hotter today than 34 degrees. So I set up our little pool a few days ago, and we've just got this little tarp to cover it so that we don't get any dust in. We had this big Saharan dust cloud for a few days. But here it is. It's our little plunge pool. Yeah, it's not quite Castelo Novo River beach, but it'll do for the farm, you know. And this water is a little bit warmer actually than Castelo Novo, but it's not come straight out of the mountain. Yeah. And this is where Livy's going to get her leg soaked in some nice cool water. What is it now? It's about 25, I think.
Yeah.
25 degrees, and very, very pleasant. If you do buy yourself a house in Portugal, it might have one of these water tanks and you can turn it into one of these cool pools. But it can't be a swimming pool. It's not legal to have the swimming pool unless you get planning permission.
It's just full of water.
Yeah, ours is basically an agricultural water tank, and every now and then when we get very hot, we climb in here to do an inspection.
Yeah.
And that's all it is.
Yeah, that's all we're doing is an official inspection.
Exactly.
And Eddie's come to help us as well do this inspection.
Yeah.
Oh, he's coming. This way.
Hello, Eddie. Look how tall this dog is. Oh, is he standing up? Yeah, he's standing up on a brick. Hello, my boy. We're going to love you and leave you here because, because we're a little bit tired and we want to chill out in the pool.
Yeah.
And Olivia and I are going to be back. Next episode, we're going to be in Lisbon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so,
That's soon.
If everything goes according to plan, Jean is not going to be in Lisbon. It's going to be, a Kenny and Livy episode.
Yeah.
And I've got some stuff that I want to explore there because last time around we didn't do as much as I wanted. And I can't wait. It's going to be good fun. So we'll see you then.
Bye. Bye.
Ciao for now.